Hey, this is Redman. You're listening to Muff Said here at DeathSquad.tv. Please subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. Check out our Death Squad store at ShopSquad.tv for the new Death Squad Kitty Cat shirt that's shipping this week. Also, DeathSquad.tv has all the Death Squad live tour dates, including our weekly shows at the Ice House in Pasadena, the Comedy Store in Hollywood, and me and Tony are coming to Phoenix, Arizona in September at Stand Up Live. And now, here's a
so long.
Forever.
Life happens. It's crazy.
I got married and had 2 children
Yeah.
in a month.
Thank God for gay marriage, right, Nick?
I know, right? Thank you.
Yeah, that happened. Comic-Con happened. A bunch of superhero movies came out that happened. I'm not even really sure where to start. I might want to talk about... some of you know that I've been working on a new financial web series, which has been fun and all, but more than anything, it's turned me into this like bizarre tech nerd that follows the stock market and shit. And Hootsuite actually raised the largest amount of money in Canadian venture capital ever. That's the power of social media.
I use Hootsuite.
You do, yeah.
Very
They
helpful.
just raised $165 million.
If you don't know what Hootsuite is like if you think you're a heavy Twitter user, heavy Facebook user, you're not a power user unless you're using Hootsuite. That's like Hootsuite is like social media for grown-ups. I mean, it's like top level stuff.
What is it?
It's basically it's a website, but it's more like a web app, and it's kind of like it's like the social media version of like a stock trader's computer, where you just have everything, all the information flowing in front of you, keyword searches, your feeds, your mentions, all this kind of crazy stuff, and you can do a lot of kind of professional level tweeting and posting from this, and I think it supports like every social network out there, basically.
So it pretty much breaks down all your tweets, tell you what your goal, your big hot words are, and stuff like that.
It has its own like kind of Bitly tracker that tracks links and gives you all this information. If you're like a stat nerd on that stuff, you can actually like see what you're doing right or do you wrong or whatever.
You actually use this?
I use it for work,
Oh.
not for myself.
Right.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a big deal. And I'm currently obsessed with like penny stocks and stuff. Speaking of that, worlds.com...
Looks like a Second Life.
Okay, so worlds.com has the shittiest website of all time. Like, it is goddamn terrible. But they're best known for suing the crap out of Call of Duty and Worlds of Warcraft because they own the patents that created what they call three-dimensional graphical multi-user interface interactive virtual world systems.
Wow.
So they like created that and hold the patents on all that stuff. And
Are they just sitting on the patents?
I don't know what they're doing, but
Because it doesn't really look like an attractive game.
Are they patent trolls, or have they been around for a while actually doing this?
They've been around for a long time doing this. But their stock today actually just did a whole bunch of volume, which means that either they're going to do something really exciting or their patents are going to expire.
So, one of the two.
One of the two. I've been trying to like troll the internet, but the hard thing with penny stocks is it's so hard to find information.
It'll be interesting. That company's future will be interesting because something like that patent that they hold now, that almost all games use online infrastructures of worlds, like online worlds that. You know, you can make a case for that patent being irrelevant eventually because it's like you're talking about an entire industry's like livelihood, and if it hangs on a patent, then that's usually when a court will throw it out saying that this isn't good anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But their stock jumped, which means something exciting is going on. Anyway, that's been my nerd out in the last couple of weeks. That and Magic the Gathering. We haven't done this in a month.
You fucked your back up. How'd you fuck your back up?
I was throwing things into the back of my car. I was putting
angrily.
I was not even throwing things. I was putting a rack of wardrobe into my car, and
angrily.
I was not angrily. I was actually busy flirting, which was probably the problem. Wearing high heels, and I tweaked out my lower back so badly that I was going into spasm and collapsing on the floor.
Have you hurt your back before? Was this a prior whatever?
Never that badly.
I've never fucked my back up.
I tore cartilage between my ribs and vertebrae and was paralyzed for like a week.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. When I was like 18 or 19 years old, yeah.
You know, I just wrote for my Penthouse Forum column, I just wrote an article on paraplegic sex positions. apparently
could have used that.
There's some really good videos on YouTube of paraplegics and their girlfriends demonstrating positions. And man, did I nerd out. You'd think that they wouldn't be able to do missionary. You'd think it'd be like all girl on top stuff. But someone that's in a wheelchair has like lots of upper body strength. And so they can like hold themselves up and do like fun like swingy positions.
That's fun swingy, baby.
Looks like
that's
fun.
That's what it's for. Fun and swingy.
I know. Someday I'm going to make a porno handicapped website.
Redban is just digging into the archives right now.
I'm just looking at this paraplegic. Wow, this is crazy.
See? Yeah. See? Yeah, that's the black hole of the internet that I fell into.
Wow.
Like, I spent 2 days looking up disability and sex.
Because you got to be at a certain point where that's cool, because when I hurt myself, that was the last thing I was thinking about. I was mostly thinking,
really?
Ouch! For about a week straight, yeah.
See, I was stuck in bed with my back injury, and I couldn't even lift my head up to look at the internet. So I literally had to stare at the ceiling for 4 days.
See, I've always wanted, and Redban, you might actually have this at home, but an emergency bed projector system where if I'm just like, you know what, I'm in bed, and I just hit a button, and my ceiling becomes a projector.
Yeah, I have them, but they're here at the studio. But yeah.
Have you done that? Have you actually done a ceiling projector?
Yeah, I used to do it and play video games on my ceiling. But
oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's such a, like, playing it, you're like, why doesn't everyone have this in their bedroom? Because it makes so much sense just laying there and looking up at the TV instead of like tilting your head or.
Well, I usually have a no
TV.
Sitting. I usually have a no TV in the bedroom policy, which I basically break by having an iPad on my lap or something like that. But I don't think I would be against having a projector on my ceiling. I
was in bed for a few days myself. I had the 103-degree temperature for 2 days.
30 pounds a day.
13 pounds, I think it was, that I lost. I used to have like these little love handles on the side that I could easily grab. Now they're just kind of like inflated, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. But man, that was hell. It got to the point I didn't eat for 4 days, and I was just shitting out like this yellow. I think it was just like bile and fat mixed together. Or something.
Was it? Were you? Did you go to Comic-Con?
I did go to Comic-Con.
Did you get Nerd Flu?
I think it might have been from Nerd Flu. I think it might have been from Comic-Con because it came right after.
I honestly, truly believe that Nerd Flu could be a real thing. Like not like an actual strain of like a virus, but like. There's like a high
virus that happens.
Yeah, there's like a high statistical chance you're going to get super sick by going to one of these conventions.
Well, you're in parts of the floor where there's no moving, where there's just people all around you, and you're just like greasy,
like sweaty, and mouth breathing.
And honestly, the thing I hate about it most is, and if you're listening and you go to these conventions, there's one thing you have to keep in mind. Just don't stop right in the middle of a goddamn walkway.
Take photos of fucking
people just stop and gawk, and they don't think about anything else but themselves, and then it just creates this horrible traffic jam. It drives me crazy.
See, this is why people should go to other conventions other than Comic-Con, because they're more fun, because you can walk around.
That's what Kamikaze here in LA was actually nice, because you could walk around, and you still got to see like cosplayers, and there was artists doing signings and all that cool stuff. I've only been to Comic-Con once myself. I didn't even go this year. And the one year I went, I was on the show floor for a few hours, and I was kind of going crazy.
I don't know if we've been on the air since I went to AnimeCon, but Brian Redban, why weren't you there? Underage Japanese girls in costumes.
I actually, when it was going on, I was like, why am I not there? Why? Like, definitely I would have gone if somebody told me that they wanted to go also. I just didn't go.
You just didn't go?
No.
Was that in LA or was that?
It was in LA. It's down at the convention center. I feel like being a nerd in Los Angeles, I live at that goddamn convention center.
Yeah.
It's like I'm there for E3. I'm there for. I feel like every
well
month.
Now in this fall, the Game Developers Conference is bringing their mobile version to LA.
GDC's coming to LA.
Yeah, mobile.
What?
It's a dedicated mobile games and mobile apps conference.
Can you please get me in? The GDC tickets are so expensive. Yeah. It's the one convention that I haven't been able to crack. I was able to go to the two conventions I'm really proud of. 3.
Well, here's the thing: is free passes don't exist for this convention. They just don't exist.
Someone's got to let me in. Someone's got to do it.
But like even I'm friends with the director, and I don't get free passes. So it's tough, man. But that's the thing is about GDC is it's a completely self-sufficient industry show. It's run by UBM, which runs tons and tons of these big things. Right now they're doing Black Hat, which is the hackers convention, which is actually really cool because these guys are showing like how they can like hack into your. One guy showed how they can hack into your Porsche. Like if you have a wireless remote key system for your Porsche, he can just unlock your Porsche and drive your car
Look at
away.
that one guy that just died, the reporter. The video of him flying down, Melrose Avenue and smashing into a tree, and they're saying that
The car might have gotten hacked or whatever?
Yeah, the conspiracy is saying that the government hacked his car because he was, doing too much shit.
These new cars are basically hackable at this point.
Yeah.
The Europe right now is calling for an immediate law to pass to ban what this guy's been doing, where he's been hacking into these European cars. They want to immediately, because it's not technically legal right now. There's no law against hacking a car because it was never conceived of as a thing. So they're trying to rush past this law so they can start cracking down on it. But anyways, this company UBM that does the Game Developers Conference, they're completely self-dependent on the industry to pay for the whole thing. So they have to. All the tickets cost money. They have to do the advertising. They have to do the whole thing. So, and it's technically a private industry event. Yeah. So it's expensive, but when you work in the game industry, it's worth going. It's totally worth going.
Mobile games are my jam. We talked about Frontier Rush, I think, last time I was on. So I played the entire thing through in casual. I played it all the way through in normal. I'm just beating it in veteran now, and they just released new levels. So it's the best.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, literally today I logged on, and they were like, new levels. I was like, yes!
I mean, if you have an iOS device, it might be on Android too, but if you have an iOS device, Kingdom Rush is one polished, wonderful little game.
Hours of fun. Yeah. So I'm probably at least 35 hours at this point.
For like $3.
For like $3, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's up on screen here, and it's a tower defense game. And it's the second one in the series that they've done, and it's just really well balanced. It's just really fun. You place your little towers, and then you can kind of level them up, and they throw enemies at you constantly, and you have to just try and take them out. It's a strategy game. Tower defense was born out of Warcraft 3, out of the modders that made tower defense, and then they also made a similar thing called Defense of the Ancients.
I can't get into this formula anymore. I don't know. I just overplayed that formula, and now it's just, to me, it's like I get it. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me.
I'm waiting to overplay this formula because that would be kind of awesome.
This one, I recommend this one. There's a lot of other tower defense games that they're good, but they're like, if you're over it, then it's like, why play it? But this one's got really good structure. It's just, everything feels...
It's cute!
It is. It's pretty cute. But everything just feels really well made, and so it's kind of like, if you're tired of shooters, then you picked up like a really kick-ass shooter, like a BioShock or something. It's kind of like that. It feels like, oh, you should come back to the genre for this game, for sure.
Check it out.
Tasty.
I'm really over Hollywood movies. I'm this close to boycotting big budget films. I'm kind of at my limit because
you did not like the Wolverine.
Did not like the Wolverine. Well, okay. Granted, I was really, really hungry when I went to saw the Wolverine, which always affects my movie reviews. And it was at a screening, and they did not have popcorn.
If you had a movie review site, you'd need how many stars you gave it, what resolution you saw it at, and then how hungry were you when you saw it.
Yes, precisely. Do you not want me to talk about it? Is it too soon to talk about the Wolverine?
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, because I don't want to give any spoilers out, it was 30 minutes too long, and I don't understand why they spend so much money on these movies, and yet the scripts have so many problems. If you're going to spend that much money, can you just have someone
talent and special effects? That's where money goes.
Just get editors are working for nothing in publishing. Just get someone to go through it and fix all the plot holes. That would be amazing.
Was there really that many plot holes?
Yeah, and there was just some really big inconsistencies, and
it's like a direct sequel to X-Men 3, basically.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
Kind of. And there's just so many things that didn't make sense and that were never explained. You're like, oh, he's here. Why is he here? How did he get here? Because the whole premise that the movie was based on is really ridiculous.
What's crazy too is that movie just came out, and then at Comic-Con they just showed off all the people that are going to be in the new X-Men movie, like Days of Future Past, where they have people from the past, the present, and the future. And it's like they have everyone who's ever been in an X-Men movie ever is going to be in this movie, from the young guys and the old guys, and they have people from the future.
So X-Men is like the Expendables of the Marvel franchise.
It's kind of looking like the Expendables of Marvel. Yeah, absolutely. A lot less head ripping and... Well, maybe there might be a little head ripping off. I don't know how violent they'll get. It's Bryan Singer, so he never goes too violent.
I really didn't like... Yeah, also the Wolverine wasn't violent enough. I mean,
what's funny
is... hate that.
You know who was originally on to direct that movie was Aronofsky.
What?
That movie could have been a Darren Aronofsky movie, so it would have been like the Wolverine with all these weird mindfuck moments.
I don't know. I miss Wolverine from the comics when he's 5'3" and crawling around and is this tiny little angry guy. I feel that when they cast Hugh Jackman, they like I know that short guys love the Wolverine, and it's a superhero that they can relate to, and I feel like there isn't that out there being portrayed.
And
Superheroes come in all shapes and sizes.
I'm excited about this Spider-Man Avengers, though. Finally to have. You're not, because I mean that was my biggest thing about the Avengers movies.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, supposedly they're licensed out that he would be in the next one. And so was somebody else. I forget. Was it some other? I think it was some other property that Sony owns that they licensed out.
I just don't care, man. I don't care that they're doing Superman versus Batman. I didn't even bother to see Man of Steel, which I was kind of excited about. And then at the last minute, I was like, meh. I just don't care anymore.
Well, Superman is it versus Batman or just
and Batman? They haven't said anything.
Yeah.
They just announced that it's happening.
But doesn't it seem like to you that like the whole time Superman's just going to be flying around rescuing Batman? Like, oh god, I got to fucking rescue Bruce Wayne.
In the comics and the cartoons, Batman almost always ones up Superman because he's intelligence-wise much smarter than Superman.
That's just
so he's always
Superman doesn't have to be. Superman doesn't have to be smart.
Right, but Superman can also just be like
laser eyeballs.
Yeah, laser eyes. Well, anything. Yeah. What the fuck?
But he's too noble. Like Batman he's part insane, and he carries that crazy chip on his shoulder, whereas Superman is like noble and always doing as good as possible. And I think Batman just exploits the shit out of that kind of thing. He's like you're too good for your own good, and then he just pulls out some Krypton and down, bitch.
Yeah, I guess crafty writing, he will win, but.
Well, I don't know if they're going to battle. I wonder.
You're talking about that. I'm just thinking about how terrible some of the villains in the Wolverine were.
Well, at least we got Captain America to look forward to, huh?
Oh, man.
I don't care.
Thor 2's coming.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's fine. I wish I would have seen last year at Comic-Con is they showed like Ant-Man footage. Like that could have been cool.
Yeah.
Where he was like shrinking and getting big and small and all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff seemed like it could have been cool.
I'm gonna go back and watch some weird old sci-fi stuff. I just was reminded myself today to go back and watch Strange Days, which I think was one of the best sci-fi movies ever.
Fuck yeah. Fantastic.
Great.
So good. Ralph Fiennes, fucking Angela Bassett, commentary on feminism.
Yeah. I haven't seen
lots
that
of
movie in a
feminism.
long time.
I'm the same boat. I'm tired of movies now. There's just too many movies that are just barely mediocre and
they're supposed to be the best thing ever.
Yeah, and there's just. What happened to the days of like Dark Crystal and fucking Secret
What was
of NIMH?
the last big budget movie that was really fucking good? Was it Inception?
Despicable Me Too.
That's not.
I heard that
that's
was
different.
It was awesome.
That's CG. I put that in a different class.
Well, how much?
But like big budget action movie.
There was a lot of action in Despicable Me Too, and I will let you know that was the most enjoyable movie I have seen all year, hands down.
It also shattered like opening records. That movie made a shitload of money, and it's still making a shitload of money.
Yeah.
They've already greenlit like a sequel and a spin-off or something like that.
Yes, they're doing a Minions spin-off, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Nah.
Yeah. Once you hit number 3, like, was any third movie as good or
Toy
better?
Story 3.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 is
it's
so
true.
good. It's the best one.
Yeah.
Did you know the original plot apparently for Toy Story 3 was that Buzz Lightyear gets recalled back to Japan?
No.
I want that movie to happen.
That sounds like a great idea.
That sounds like a fantastic fucking adventure right there. I mean, not that Toy Story 3 was bad. That was actually a really good
it was
movie.
an amazing movie.
But like Toy Story in Japan with Buzz Lightyear with a bunch of other Buzz Lightyears.
Well, hopefully
fantastic.
that reincarnates into a different movie.
Well, it was written and ready for that famous Pixar director that died. Like then they had to like stop the project and like do something else. Like they were like ready to make that, and then he died, and they decided to do something else. That's what I had heard. I don't actually know if that's backed up by any truth or anything.
I am really excited for the new Wong Kar-wai movie.
What's that?
He's an amazing director. What
has he made?
A ton of stuff.
Cool movies. You know what I read today? I did not know this. It's this really old news. This is like 10-year-old news. But did you know Keanu Reeves gave away almost all the money he made on The Matrix to the special effects people? Oh. He gave the special effects team $35 million.
Wow.
Because he made $10 million up front. He's like, and it's Keanu Reeves. If you ever know anything about this guy, he doesn't give a shit about anything. So he probably doesn't care about money. So he just gave it all these special effects guys, saying that it was their movie, not his.
Okay,
that's
so
pretty cool.
My favorite Wong Kar-wai movie I had to look up. It's called Fallen Angels. It's got probably my favorite Japanese man ever, Takeshi Kaneshiro. I will have sex with his face. It's going to happen at some point.
If he's listening, there's an offer.
Takeshi Kaneshiro, I would like you to eat my pussy.
Oh, my.
What? I have needs.
So vulgar.
But he did that. He did Happy Together, In the Mood for Love, Chungking Express.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
And he's got a new one coming out called The Grandmaster. That's actually getting... I've never seen his movies advertised on billboards here, and I'm curious. But I'm over Hollywood movies. I think I'm actually going to watch nothing but Independence for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah, the problem with that, though, is Hollywood movies are still fun to get excited to go to the theater for.
I see.
If I know I'm going to the theater for like a tiny little indie movie, I could be excited for the movie, but I'll be like, man, I should just be watching this at home.
I got something to cheer you up, Ryan, because I know you're feeling sad now with all this Hollywood movie stuff. Have you seen Cat Lucky?
No.
Does this Get Lucky? Oh my god. Have you seen the animal twerking video?
No. Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
I've tried to make my own twerk. By the way, can we just say that YouTube's fucking up or Flash is fucking up again?
YouTube's never.
Have you been having problems with Flash? Like, look at this. Like, what's it doing? Hello.
I recommend two things. If you're a heavy YouTube user out there, this is two little tech tips that change your life. One, so log in. Make sure you're logged in. Default to the HTML5 player.
Where do I?
It's in your settings. And two, this is great because like YouTube comments, all that crap is just the worst. There's something in their like labs or their beta section somewhere where you can do YouTube Lite, where you literally just get the title and the video. That's all you get on the page. You don't get anything else. It's just a gray page with title and video.
Really?
And things load immediately. The videos load immediately. Everything just goes. It's fantastic.
You know what I freaking hate is Instagram video. It is the worst thing that's ever happened.
It never loads. It never loads.
It's slowed down my entire feed. It's really frustrating. Like, Instagram was amazing because even if Twitter wasn't loading for me, even if I couldn't see who was paying attention to me on the internet, I could always go look at Instagram.
Well, Instagram was great too because it wasn't noise. It was clean.
Right.
And I don't understand why the system, when you play a video on Instagram, and then you scroll away from it, or if you try to replay it, it has to reload the entire video. I'm like, why am I reloading it? I just watched it.
Right.
And on the nerdy side, they're just dumping it right away out of the memory, which is like, whoever designed that is...
It's stupid. I wish Instagram would never have had that video thing. I've done one video on my Instagram.
Done out of pure response to Vine.
Yeah.
It was just...
And it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it is.
And while I like their editing feature better, where you can go back and edit, like delete little pieces and stuff. Yeah. But I
miss the loops. Yeah. The loops are awesome.
The loops are good, and that's why my one Instagram video is just me going, pussy, fuck, cock, suck, fuck, pussy. So, like, if you're watching it, you'll be like, damn it. I just wanted to look at pretty photos.
See, something is wrong with my phone where it doesn't play any video noise ever, unless it has headphones plugged into it.
What?
But my
You call that an error or an error.
An error, yeah. And so I don't have to deal with that ever, which is good.
What beer are we drinking, by the way?
We are drinking
Kirin Ichiban. Jinx. It's a classic. It's a Japanese classic.
All right. It is a Japanese classic. The thing about Japanese beers, as Nick Ahrens was saying earlier, they taste a lot like Midwest beers.
Yeah, they do. They're not, they're very clean. They're reliable, they're clean. They're probably, I'm sure there's lots of craft brews, but like these mass-produced Japanese beers aren't that much different than mass-produced beers anywhere else, but they're reliable. They taste really good. Yeah.
They taste like what I remember beer smelling like and tasting like when I was a kid, like drinking like Old Milwaukee or something like that, which was
all beer smells like Heineken to me because growing up that's all my dad drank. Heineken, which I can't even drink it anymore.
I hate Heineken now. I'm not a fan.
Rolling Rock and Heineken.
I've been drinking a lot of sangria. Oh man, Rolling Rock was the beer that got me into beer. Back drinking that at the junior college in the parking lot.
I remember when we moved in this house. We moved in this house when I was in 7th grade, maybe, or 6th grade. And the people that were renting it was just my mom, my sister, and I. And the people that lived there before were a band. And so the whole basement was completely soundproof. And while they soundproofed it, they basically sealed up 2 rooms. And one of them, we never got the door open ever. To this day, we lived there for years. There was a room we never went in that house. A full room, not just like a little attic, like a full room.
How does that work?
Because they sealed it completely up to soundproof the basement. They just went right over the wall. We knew the room was there. But
so you don't think they sealed anything in there like a gimp?
There might have been a gimp in there. We never heard any whines. But so inside the other room was a ton of empty Rolling Rocks. They clearly would just drink Rolling Rock while they practice. When I was a kid, there was like 500 of these empty bottles, so me and my buddies would just throw them off the balcony into the street below, and there would just always be this nice glaze of like green shattered glass everywhere.
That sounds terrible.
Well, when you're a kid, it's awesome.
I will say, like Rolling Rock, this Kirin Ichiban is very sessionable. Like, I feel like I could sit down with a couple 6-packs of these and drink all day.
Yeah, this is power drinking. This is you got a bunch of people coming over, just get a bunch of these and you.
Yeah, this is actually a beer that I would drink daily. I would recommend it 5 stars.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will support that because I could drink this beer all day.
I'm gonna get 5 stars because I've drank a lot of this already. I've actually had this in Japan too, and they have a couple different variations over there, and it's just as popular there as it is here.
Yeah, and if you are going to have any sort of delicious Asian food, pair it with a delicious Kirin Ichiban.
There you go.
Because I hate sake.
Or a singa.
You hate sake?
I do hate sake.
Really?
Sake's
Sake's
fun.
good. Yeah, sake's good.
Especially get those nice, like, cute little flavors where it's like pear mixed with
Cucumber.
Like,
like cold cucumber sake.
Okay, when did you guys become more gay than me?
Dude, I told you, we got married and had 2 kids.
What do you think we were doing for this whole month off of the show?
Yeah.
Come on.
We've been
true.
fucking
Keep
pounding each other's little brown holes all day long.
Speak for yourself a little.
All right, you pounded my brown hole.
There's a lot of hole pounding.
Oh, it got uncomfortable.
No, there's a shoe just kicked me.
Oh, footsies.
How did you... Okay, there's a ghost in here because Nick's is Ahrens. My feet have been up in cross-legged position for the past 25 minutes.
You have your shoes off, though.
And my shoes are off.
Not crazy.
Smell them.
Smell. It smells like leather.
Oh,
So
that's good.
my feet don't really smell that much. I don't really get stinky feet. And back when I was a fetish model, I'd have problems because fans would write me wanting to buy my stinky shoes. And I always have to write them back, being like, I'm really sorry, but my feet don't really smell that bad, but I can sell you like some heavily worn shoes. I'm like, no. We only
No, you should have
Stinky.
had a guy wear them around for a day or something.
Yes, because I know guys that are in an 8.5.
True.
Gross.
Just rock them.
You know what I did today, before I did anything else? I laid in bed and I read the second edition of Saga in my underwear, which was matching in from La Perla. Not posting pictures of me in lingerie has been the hardest thing about quitting porn. Like, I'm like laying around, like I got my makeup on.
Send them to me, I'll post them.
Sexual lingerie. I'm like, no, wait, you don't do that anymore. No one gets to experience this moment with you. We talked about the first Saga when I read the first volume in trade, maybe about 3 months back. The second volume has come out. This is written by Brian K. Vaughan, who did why I'm blanking, who did Why the Last Man, who is one of my favorite comic books of all time, and the art is by Fiona Staples. It is amazing. This book is all about interspecies sex in space, and it's like a Romeo and Juliet Lovecraft story. I posted one of the pictures earlier today. I'd like to...
Oh, yeah, the alien wrap.
Like, can I get a close-up on this? Which camera should I point at? So I'm about to show several alien sex pictures. So that... Wow. That's an arachnid lady getting it on with, like, that's a bounty hunter dude.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. His name is The Will, and she is the Stock.
The Way.
The Stock. Also, she's got wings, he's got horns. They're doing it.
Uh-oh.
Totally doing it.
Uh-oh.
So, while this book is never really obscene, it is a little bit risque, and it's actually a really nice family love story.
But the same quirkiness that Why the Last Man had?
Totally quirky, totally cute. If you like stuff that's like Tank Girl, if you like Why the Last Man, it's fun and a little bit bizarre.
That's good. Why the Last Man always had this little weird edge to it.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit
We have
off.
a world that's all women and one guy. that's kind of what happens.
2 guys, if you count the monkey.
I guess, ampersand the monkey.
Yeah.
You can watch a director who he put all his own money towards it, made the first 10 minutes of what would be a Why the Last Man movie. And you have to watch it on the internet. Yeah, like with all the airplanes going down and like the dad like kissing his daughter goodbye, like that whole stuff. Or that whole stuff. That whole sequence from the comic is made. It's like professional.
I reorganized my entire comic book collection, and I realized that I have a problem where I get drunk and I give away the first volume of all of my favorite comic books.
To give them away or to bar? Like
To loan them out.
Yeah.
Like, I loan them out, and I realized that I am
And you never
missing
get
the
them back.
first volume of pretty much every single one of my favorite trades.
we had this problem when I tried to get Transmetropolitan, I think.
It's true,
Yeah.
because I don't have the first volume anymore. So if anyone knows who I loaned my comic books out to when I was drunk, or if
Please
you were
give them
drinking with
back.
me, could I have them back? I would like to share them some more.
I know something that we could talk about. I my friend Rita, you guys have met her, Rita Lux. She's a really amazing illustrator, and she works for Mattel. She does Barbie. She makes Barbie look sexy.
She did a Secret Show.
She's done a few Secret shows before. She's done the art for. Her and her boyfriend and stuff worked on this movie. It's a short film, and they were in Comic-Con because they were about to release it, and they showed me the preview of the trailer for it, and it looks better than any fucking movie that has come out in a while. They went to Japan to film it. It's called The Last of Us. And have you heard of this?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks
Named after the game?
really good.
Same name as the game? The Last of Us.
No, wait. Is it called The Last of Us? Yeah, it's called The Last of Us.
Oh, wow.
And it was they went to Tokyo to film it. And anyways, they showed me the trailer, and Rita actually made all the designs of, or not all of them, but the characters in the movie, like the CGI little characters and stuff like that.
Is there a trailer online?
Yeah, let's watch this trailer though, because I mean, it was amazing when they showed it to me. Let me see if I can get here's a pretty close version of full screen. Let's take a look at this. It's called The Last of Us. And they said that since they've showed it, like, all these movie companies have gone right to them like, we must have this movie, like Warner Brothers and stuff like that. So this might be like a District 9 type movie.
Our world is always changing. As evolution accelerates, even the smallest creatures can impact the balance of nature.
Wow.
The tracker preserves this balance.
Rita made that character, by the way.
When you grow older, you may see the forest as separate from yourself, but nothing is separate. You must remember the world is within you, and we are all one life.
The city is shutting down tomorrow, maybe you've heard. It means no more trains, no more chances to get out. What do you think is going to happen when we're all trapped in here with a plague and no cure?
That's not my problem. The city doesn't care about what happened to the countryside. Why should I care about what happened to the city?
Irizumi, we'll be back by dusk. Finding the source is going to be easy.
Outside of these rules, there are no guarantees.
This cure, it's going to be worth more than we ever dreamed.
I've seen these symptoms once before. I never found a cure. Now, it's adapted.
I think this might be based on
We should go back to the city while the trains are still running. I'm going to find what did this.
But for a short film, right?
Oh, it's called Dust?
No, I think it's called... I thought it was called The Last of Us.
Now it's called Dust.
Well, The Last of Us is a game that's post-apocalyptic, fungus-based.
Right.
Um,
let me see here.
That looks really good,
it is. Dust is not the first thing. It's an adaptation of the Hollywood adaptation of The Last of Us. Oh, wait, you might think it's a Hollywood adaptation. It's not. It's just a short that's taken 4 years to put together. So it's
It looks
Dust.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's... was it just basically a passion project, or did they actually
it
have
was.
funding?
It was just these two guys. I forget. They used to work for a marketing company. They used to do like commercials for like Coca-Cola. I think they're two brothers, if I remember correctly. And it was just those two guys, and then Rita and a couple friends that all just helped out in this movie for the last 4 years. But I guess they're already like when they were in Comic-Con, they were already, getting so much heat from like all the studios, like, we want to see this movie, we want to buy this, and then now they're getting like, this was on Kotaku.com, and under the headline, when a short film looks as good as a Hollywood blockbuster. So it looks like there's going to be some, who knows?
That's cool.
Look what happened to, District 9, that started off as a small, movie. And
short film, it was Alive in Joesburg is what it was. It was basically, and that short film was even shorter. It's literally just 2 soldiers shooting at this like robot from space.
Yeah,
and it was like, almost like a tech demo, but it was like a tech demo that had like narrative and passion and heart to it, and I was like, wow, like
everything
this guy,
that studio films doesn't have right now.
Well, which is fine too, because that guy was gonna make Halo. Like, he spent a year working on Halo with Peter Jackson, and then Microsoft shut it down, and crushing millions of dreams everywhere. But yeah, no. Speaking of, by the way, Elysium does look good.
I think that's. I want to get excited about it, but I don't, because my dreams have been crushed so many times recently. Like,
his track record's phenomenal.
It's a good track record, but like, is it going to be another? Oh God, what was that movie that I hated with Charlize Theron, the Aliens prequel, Prometheus?
Oh well, yeah.
Is it going to be like? Because Prometheus looked like the most beautiful, amazing, awesome.
Ridley
thing
Scott's
ever.
Insane, though. Ridley Scott is an insane person.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like all of these movies are coming out. Like, I get really excited, and then I'm like,
What about Pacific Rim? Did you end up seeing that?
I did not see it.
I loved it. I thought it was
good
awesome.
and bad.
I think anyone that thinks it's bad didn't like it because how campy it is, but those people need to watch more Godzilla movies, because it is such a throwback to like
what about
old
acting?
School. The acting's campy on purpose.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. It's supposed to be like that. It's like a huge nod to like all of like all the corny movies of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like, it's a total nod, but they do it really well. They do it on purpose really well. Like, Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia is awesome in that movie.
I saw him at Comic-Con, by the way.
What?
Yeah, we had shows at the American Comedy Company, and I was just outside hanging out, talking to some fans and stuff, and then he just like walks by and he just stares me down. I'm like, well, wait a second. Like, when he walks by, he's like, I know you. Hey, what's up,
Is
man?
Charlie Day secretly a Death Squad fan?
No.
TJ Fixman, who we've been trying to get on the show, he's a writer, just wrote one of Charlie Day's next movies that they're working on with Seth Gordon, the guy who did Angry Bosses or Horrible Bosses, and he did King of Kong, one of the best, if not best, gaming documentaries ever made. You
and I both were at Comic-Con. We didn't see each other at all.
I know.
I feel like we had such a different experience, because this was the weirdest convention for me, because I didn't see any of the people that I normally see. I did not get into the Nerd HQ party. This woman was a bitch to me, and I am holding it out against them for forever. But I feel like we did totally opposite things. What did you do?
Well, I had 2 shows at night, midnight shows. So during the day, I just walked around the floor. Luckily, like a friend of ours worked for the Fox, like where the Family Guy and all that shit was. And so there was even one time we got to go up on the top
The
thing.
Fox had a 2-story building.
Yeah, 2-story
nice.
building, and
Yeah,
just
that's
like
cool.
sat there for like an hour, just looking down at the cattle of people and watching these. They had these poster tubes, which were these like just where you could put posters in. There was nothing inside of them.
And people were taking them.
And twice a day, they would like have this thing where they would have that song, Alan Thicke song, like whatever that song is called, Blurred Lines. They would have it blaring.
Robin Thicke, yeah.
Yeah, Robin Thicke, Alan Thicke. And they had this line that literally like just took over the whole entire comic floor of people just waiting in line for one of these empty tubes. And it was just amazing watching that.
That's part of the reason why I don't like Comic-Con, because people are willing to wait. They're willing to pay a shitload of money to fly to San Diego, spend crazy overpriced prices on hotels, and then they wait in line for cardboard that doesn't have anything on it.
Yeah.
And I
went shopping crazy, but I mostly bought just a bunch of My Little Pony shirts, and now I feel like a brony because I have like literally. Yeah. I don't like the new cartoon.
Didn't you just talk so much shit to me about My Little Pony recently?
No. I do not like the new cartoon. I've tried to watch it. It's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I'm a huge fan of sexiness of the My Pretty Ponies. And so, like, I bought this one My Pretty Pony that's like this, looks like a pinball machine, you know, and stuff. So I bought a lot of My Pretty Pony shirts. Are you
wearing them?
Oh, yeah. I've overworn them. So I'm trying. I met the guy that we were talking about earlier from the gallery.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And he met me for the first night. I was wearing an old school My Pretty Pony that had like a rainbow that goes around the whole thing. This is double rainbow, and it's just adorable. It's sexy. And then the next time I met him, I had one of the new ponies. And I'm like, oh shit! Now you probably think I'm a brony.
Are you a clopper?
No, I am not a clopper.
You just
heard all
referred
this
to the ponies as sexy multiple times in the past 2 minutes.
If I had a pony shirt here, I would show you. They are adorable. They have like the beautiful hair. They're shaved. They look like they're shaved down there. I mean, they are.
Horses are covered in hair,
but not down there. They're not. You notice?
I had no idea. I've never looked. I could honestly say I've never.
Next time I have a shirt on, I'll show you.
You've never looked at horse dick?
Dick, I think.
Pussy. We're talking about puss.
Yeah, I think we're talking about lady horses.
Lady horses, their pussies don't really look like anything.
Fuck yeah.
You know, if you look at pig pussies look like a sloppy human vagina.
Oh well, sheep has the third closest, and dolphins have the second.
Yeah, I watched that whole documentary on the super cows that they're making, the blue Belgians. They're like these roided out looking cows, and they're doing that completely.
They wear like muscle tees and stuff.
They should.
Look like them.
They do.
Yeah.
They look. They're literally beefy. Like they're so big, and they keep breeding like the biggest like bulls with the other biggest bulls. But because they're so valuable, they have to artificially inseminate them. So the video that I watched on Discovery Channel was like this giant muscle bull like being jerked off into like a cow-sized fleshlight.
Have you ever seen the cows with the windows in their bellies?
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
No.
They have portholes so
Yeah.
they can, and then they'll literally, and it doesn't even, the cows just don't even flinch, and the farmers can see how they're digesting, and they'll just stick their hands in their stomach through the side and look at it.
Cows are so fucking stupid. I got shipped off to a dairy farm when I was 17 because I was a bad naughty girl, and it was the most traumatizing month of my life.
I'd be okay on it.
Head gates and shoulder length black gloves. I mean, need I say more?
It sounds sexy as fuck.
Sexy as fuck.
This little 17-year-old Ryan exploring her body in some hay. Oh, excuse me, farmer. I didn't know you were watching.
I was so upset. I was expecting that there was going to be beefy farm boys, and there was not.
It's a bunch of old guys.
Yeah, it was gross.
Farms are always full of old guys.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What I did at Comic-Con is I played in a Magic tournament. Like, I thought I was a nerd, and I thought that I was hanging out with, like, the nerdiest of the nerds. And, like, I was at Comic-Con, I was like, oh. And then I went to, like, the Magic tournament, and I was like, oh. Yeah. Oh, this is where the nerds
you
are.
can kind of top that, too. If you go to PAX, and then PAX has their show floor, and then PAX has an equal-sized floor for just tabletop gaming. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can't even walk through it. Like, there's so many people. It's insane and super loud because everyone's trying to yell over each other while playing these games. You think it'd be like quiet and respectful, but it's no. They're all like
there's a lot of shit talking.
Yeah, there's a shitload of shit talking. It's actually pretty vulgar stuff coming out of there.
Yeah, my new line has been "fuck your face" is usually what I'm saying when I'm casting something pretty awesome.
Fuck your face.
But I had to tone it down because I won my second tournament against an 11-year-old, and that did not feel good. I'm going to tell you right now, like I did not feel good. I was like, I don't want to just like let this kid win because he was an obnoxious little shit. And the game is for 13 and up. By the way, I just want to put that out there. Like you should not be playing. He broke the rules. Yeah,
it's not your fault he lied. That's what you're just teaching him a lesson. That's all you're doing is teaching him a lesson.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to stop playing Magic. I need to stop, but I can't
do.
stop. I know it's all I tweet about. That's all I'm doing.
So dorky.
Can't stop.
I played
stop.
for an hour today. How many hours did I play last night? I played 5 hours last night.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
It's a lot.
You need help. If you're playing fucking 5 hours of Magic, come on. You know what you could be doing in 5 hours? Like 50 blowjobs, right? At least. Just kidding. I mean, like you could get shit done.
A lot of blowjobs.
Magic is an amazing waste of time because at least I can't even.
See, the thing is that I never got into video games because it's like if I'm going to spend time by myself, I'm going to read a book, and I already spend way too much time by myself. I'm already I'm kind of a shut-in. Like you know this. I never want to leave my house. And what I like about Magic is that I'm interacting with other people, and it's fun. You know,
What about
it's
something like
social.
StarCraft? It seems like you would be great at StarCraft.
Why do you say? Why is StarCraft cooler than Magic?
Because at least you can fucking, like, there's something at the end of the tunnel where you can, like, you know, hey, I could be a professional StarCraft player.
You can be a professional Magic player.
Yeah, you could also fucking...
They did have Magic on
Get
ESPN2 in 2000.
They did, I know.
Yeah, they had
So
Magic the Gathering on television.
that was during the poker craze.
It was, yeah. But it probably wasn't quite as exciting because there wasn't the stakes of $40 million on the line or something like that.
Yeah, I recently worked a night at an illegal underground poker club.
Ty Angel?
No, it was a different one. I'm not going to say what it was. Man, was that the weirdest night of my life. Holy crap. And I have had some weird nights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so multicultural. My favorite thing was that there was this one Russian guy that wasn't drinking. And I was wearing something very low cut because I know how to make that money. And he looks at me and he goes, "Boobs?" And I
boobs, duh. Rubles and boobs, yeah.
And I go, "Yes, I have."
I has boobs.
For the rest of the night, like every time I walked by, he'd go, "You still have? You still have?" And I realized that this whole job is that, like, you fetch people drinks and you sit and you rub their shoulders while they're playing poker. And it was bizarre. It was truly bizarre.
Was it like the poker movies that I've seen where there's cages and smoke in the air?
There was no cages. There was a smoking room, but there was set up with hydroponic vaporizers because this is LA. And
wow.
My favorite thing was that there was this woman who apparently is like a professional poker player who's like very pregnant and very Asian. And she came in and she was there for like 6 hours.
Just holding it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
Making that baby money.
Every time I think I've like discovered all of the weird corners of weird in LA, I always find a new one.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could get even much weirder.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, we talked about books from Archaea, which I love because they have beautiful printing. They have the prettiest books. And I reviewed a movie called The Reason for Dragons, which I liked a lot, but I had just been to Ren Fair. And I think Nick has shut up, okay?
I did not like Reason for Dragons for two reasons. One, I didn't realize that this is a kid's book when I read it. This is a kid's book. The only thing I really liked about this book is this creepy king at the beginning. He's also in the book. He's like he reminds me of the creepy king from Burger King, but it was too short. It was a very short read. I mean, like, you could read this book like 5 times in an hour. And that's a hard sell for me with a book that's going to be hardcover and nicely printed and all that kind of stuff. You got to really like the property. So I didn't like that one that much, and I understood it. This was very much a coming of age, like kid gets bullied, kid figures out how to get bullied, whatever. But I read Rust, and Rust is actually really cool. Rust is like steampunk, almost like My Giant style book with a lot of like cool mystery, and they built like a cool world with this one. Again, it's pretty short. These books aren't very long. But Rust is very stylistic, and this would make a really cool CG movie, I think. Like a really stylistic CG movie. This is about a farmer, basically, and almost the entire book is him writing a letter to his past father, I believe, or past mentor or something like that.
Missing mentor type figure.
Yeah, and he hires this farmhand who basically looks like a 12-year-old kid who's like 100 years old, and he's like a rocketeer that like worked and fought in these battles. And there's a twist there that I don't want to give away, obviously, but there's these just giant mechanical robots that they basically fought World War II with steampunk bots instead of people.
And they're being returned into farm equipment.
They're being turned into like farm equipment and things that they can help out, and some people don't trust them, and some people think they're cool. And it's just this cool little story about this farmer who like lives his closed-off little life. And then all this kind of crazy shit happens in his farm field with big attacking robots. Very cool little short story. Would make a fantastic film. But again, and I really appreciate, I'm a huge print nerd, so I really appreciate the printing and all that kind of stuff. My issue is these books are really short. So if you're paying a lot for this, you could be a little disappointed in it ending
what's the
very
last
quickly.
time? You think that it's shorter than a standard trade?
Yes.
Okay.
I finished this very quickly.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just so good at reading.
Yeah, I thought it felt like about normal for a trade, which are always like, they're short and sweet.
That could be true, but there's only one. With trades, there's usually 4 or 5 in a series. Either way, but it's a good story.
All right.
So Rust was great.
before we wrap up, that's from Archaea. Give them money; they're wonderful. Before we wrap up, earlier today I tweeted out letting you know if any of you guys wanted to ask us questions or have a contribute to our conversation, what you'd like to hear us talk about. So we got a couple of them back. We got Harvard creates brain-to-brain interface, allows human to control other animals with thoughts alone.
Jesus.
I know! And then there was just that story last week where you can implant false memories.
What?
Yeah! They are hacking the brain!
Well, they did that thing where they used YouTube clips and they played a memory out by taking all the clips on YouTube, and the guy thought about his memory, and they could make it play as a video. Wow. It was super distorted, but you could still kind of see things moving. It was crazy. They're learning to map dreams. How long? I just can't wait till this gets combined with Oculus Rift, and I never have to leave the house. Walk around your brain. And I'm just, I'm going to walk around my brain. That'd be pretty sweet. That would be sweet. I would walk around that brain. My brain would bore everyone. They'd be like, there's a lot of robots in here. But this goes back to my theory that Demolition Man is predicting the future. Listen, if Taco Bell is the last restaurant in the future... Okay, it's not just the Taco Bell. It's the fact that salt is now illegal like it was in there. In Santa Monica, you can't smoke anywhere outside, and cigarettes were totally illegal in Demolition Man. Burbank, too. Yeah, most places you can't. Calabasas, I think that's getting pretty normal here in Los Angeles. What, not smoking? Yeah, I mean, it's like that bit where I got in trouble for smoking a cigarette, and it was like a $300 fine, but I just told the officer it was weed, and he was like, oh, truck on, But it's true, though. Yeah. You could if I have a medical marijuana card, I could walk around smoking weed all day. Well, everyone's converting to vapor around here, too. Yeah, which is weird that every single person, not only is it getting the vape pens for weed, but they're now getting them for cigarettes. And people, they're just smoking like flavored oils. And that really makes me feel like I live in the future because people are smoking on things that blow out steam, and they have the blue LEDs on the end. They have LEDs on the end. And in Canada, they don't sell them with tobacco in them. You're not allowed to sell them in it. You buy them separately. Well, I don't even think they can sell the liquid tobacco because the problem is, and I see this, which is almost weird. I almost wonder if the tobacco industry is behind this new craze because kids are now getting addicted to cigarettes based on smoking these awesome, cool-looking robot pens and the oils and having they have like vanilla flavored and cherry flavored chocolate chip. Yeah, they have everything now. And I tasted one the other day. I was like, holy shit! I just want to drink this like a candy. Yeah, it's really good. It's crazy. I haven't smoked a cigarette since I was 15, but I've a few of my friends have the flavored pens, and they're kind of nice. Yeah, they're kind of nice. It's fun. And you can smoke them anywhere. You can smoke them at restaurants. So you can smoke them wherever. What's going to happen next though is you're going to be able to go to the mall and they're going to have kiosks to pimp out your vapor pen. Oh, yeah. You'll have a clear case with it'll be the bedazzles, and it'll have LEDs that blink like crazy when you suck in and stuff like that. It'll be I'm sure they already have it in Japan. Oh, I'm sure. It's already in Japan. It's always in Japan. The next tweet was, will The Walking Dead TV show ever live up to the comics? And that is a fuck no. The first season of The Walking Dead television show was terrible. And I know people want to argue with me about it, but it's goddamn terrible. If you think it's good, read the goddamn comic books. And I didn't even bother with season 2. And I don't think, if you suck so horribly right off the bat, if you can't get it right in 6 episodes, GTFO. The really hardcore fans say that the game's the best one. I hear that. Are you serious? The game is it's not, it's because it's more like an interactive novel, right? And it's all original stuff. And it was written by Gary Whitta, fantastic writer. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Superman, Batman movie, Flash movie, and Justice League movie. Oh, is that real? I don't think. There's actually a really amazing Justice League cartoon that's on Netflix. That's really beautiful and super awesome. I watched it earlier this year. It's rad. DC always does really well with those animated movies. They're usually pretty good. They're really good. Yeah, I think they're going to reboot Batman the Animated Series. That'll probably do well. Yeah, it always does. Because it's so good, so good. I want the Claw to come back because she was my favorite female villain with her oh, you know what I was thinking when you said that? Fucking Inspector Gadget. I'll get you, Gadget. I'll get you, Gadget. Redban's Claw voice isn't as good as mine. I'll get you, Gadget. And then it spins around, and it's just a hand on a spring. Right. That's right.
Was that from that? It
From the
seems like
intro.
Yeah.
That's from the intro.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget finally comes to get Claw, and he turns around, just a hand.
That's right. Penny. I wonder what Penny looks like nowadays. She's probably some nice, sweet, juicy tits.
She's old,
Ew.
man. Penny's in her late 40s and needs a job.
Dude, did you see that Danica what's-her-face butt shot picture?
Who?
She's the mathematician that used to be on that 80s television show.
Oh, Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper has butt shots all over the internet.
Yeah, she's still a babe.
Winnie Cooper.
Yeah, she's like a brilliant
mathematician.
Crazy, yeah. She has crazy statistical PhDs and stuff like that. What's her name?
She can do math and stuff.
Holy shit.
Math and butts.
Yeah, her ass looks amazing. Look at that little sweet.
That's
more
face.
Ryan.
That's my
You
face.
just went back to more Ryan.
Wow.
Redban.
What? Yeah, nice.
My face is not.
I want to know why she's in Avril Lavigne's music video. What is she doing? Is she just a video babe now? Is that what she's doing?
I'm really confused by this whole story, but I am not mad at that butt.
No.
My crush on Winnie Cooper continues.
I can get mad at that ass if she wants me to.
Oh, hey. Hi. All right. Is there anything else this week?
Muff Said.
Muff Said.
Muff Said.
Muff Said.
All right, Ryan, Twitter.
At Ryan Keely, RyanKeely. Go to my Tumblr, because it's awesome.
I'm Robot Pants, at Robot Pants. If you can't spell it, then
Fuck you.
follow me, yeah.
You know who I is.
Shit, that's your new exit. That's your new exit slogan. You know who I is. Shit.
Muff Said.
Muff Said.